Here we go. All right, all right. First and foremost, we want to say good evening to all of you who are watching out there on YouTube. Welcome to Talk Tuesday, a series that's dedicated to empowering youth and families. So this series is being brought to you by Steps Foundation, Inc., where advocacy meets education for the betterment of young minds. I am Abigail Ellis, the host and founder of Steps Foundation, Inc. Throughout the month of March, y'all, if you have been missing these conversations, we're glad to have you tuned in tonight. But we have been tapping into Women's History Month, spotlighting the incredible legacies and resilience of women across the U.S. and beyond. So join us tonight as we continue to explore remarkable stories, tap into how we're overcoming adversity, breaking barriers, and just continuing to do remarkable things within our communities. We're super excited. And of course, I'm super happy to have some of our co-hosts with us. Listen, let me just start by saying, look, y'all see the level of dedication on this screen, because everybody don't show up and exercise, on a whole live. This gonna be answering questions out of breath and everything, but she here. And that's all we can ask for. Look, come on now, Superwoman with the cape. Listen. Hey, Sister Jocelyn.
Hey, how's everybody doing this evening? It's me, Jocelyn. Yes, I am working out today. I had to work a little later today, but my level of dedication is unmatched.
Okay. You gotta come through. It just warms my heart, because I'm like, look, this showed up, turned on the screen, and we're like, not a whole workout. She gonna make us look bad.
No. No matter what you're doing, I don't care what I got going on. I love you, and I love everything that you represent. So I always got time for you.
Oh my gosh, I love you. I love you so much. Oh my goodness. Look, this is why, y'all, when I say that community, look, that community that shows up and shows out.
Gotta do what we gotta do.
Oh my gosh, I love it. My Smitty. Listen, y'all, I'm so glad he back with us. My brother was down, but he here.
Yeah. I know, like before the show started, sis was on me talking about I was on her because she on the thing grinding. And like I said, I had to get my voice going. I've been down for two. I was talking to my oldest son, man. I've been sick the whole month of March, like since March 5th. So just battling through everything, trying to be here. Today is actually, you know what? Today's probably a show, just a testimony of what you can do when your commitment level is there. I always say this when I talk to people, especially white Americans, when I'm in seminars or speaking engagements, and we talk about committed or interested. Interested is one thing. Interested is one thing. Oh, I'm interested in doing this, or I'm interested in the change, or I'm interested in, influencing young people. But are you committed to it? And committed means, if you got to have a workout when you get home and we're going to do a show, then that's what we're going to do. If you committed to it, if you sick and you got the flu and pneumonia and strep throat and all this other stuff, then you going to do it. The cause doesn't stop. The cause does not stop. The cause is 24/7, and it don't care what you got going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? So it is actually a testimony. And the other thing I wanted to point out, because Sister Jocelyn put us on the spot like this and brought it to the forefront, and I'm being real serious, is if you look at my background and you see the lady, the mom, carrying her baby, shackled, and her husband, which we could gather just from looking at it, is either being led away, led to, led from, But that level of commitment is there in that mom and that woman. And that was yesteryear, and here we are today with that same level of commitment. So I think as we talk about women's history and the things that's going on, I think it's poignant, it's powerful, and it's still contemporary to this day. The level of commitment and intersectionality that Black women exude today. So, Sister Jocelyn, keep doing the damn thing. We see you, we support you, and we appreciate you. And this goes for you too, Sis Abigail. You know I love you to death.
Oh my gosh. I love, love, love both of you. Look, you are both amazing people. I couldn't be happier to have you guys on here with me. Like just always showing up. And y'all, this goes beyond the lives, okay? Because when I say they show up outside of the lives, they show up outside of these lives. And so I could not be more grateful. There's just so many ways that I just want to always express my gratitude, because I know that y'all could be doing so many other things. You could be in so many other spaces. You could be making time for like everything else. And you guys literally carve out the time to show up for us and for these kids. And I'm grateful for that. They are grateful for that. And so I can't say thank you enough. And I just, that gratitude is just always sitting there. And it just always the smile it just comes out so natural, because I'm like, look at my people. They're just always showing up. And when I tell y'all they show up with a smile, you see them. I mean, I'm always smiling too, but they just show up with a smile, never complain, like nothing, just show up. And I thank you guys for continuing to do that, showing up where you are and being who you are. The authenticity is real, and that's what we're here for, because them kids will call you out in a minute if they think you fake. Listen, so that being said, y'all, we better dive in it, because I know y'all ready. Today's conversation is really about the power of community and paying homage to the women that you know. Because, there's always so many people that we can tap into, and I know it is a lot of our kids idolize and look up to the celebrity figures, and sometimes not even knowing that there's the woman across the street that's doing all these amazing and awesome things in community to help build it and make it better for them. And so I really want to tap into some of those personal stories today, because y'all know it's who we are. So before I dive into the first question that I was going to use, there's a different one that I want to pose first. And that is, what does the role of mentorship and peer support, how does this role foster leadership skills and confidence amongst women within our communities? Because again, I believe there's power in numbers. And we say it often, we're stronger together. But how does the role of mentorship and the role of, just being supportive to women who are creating movements or breaking barriers or navigating, those systems, how does that help foster that leadership and that confidence within them?
I think I'll take it first because I am a lady. No offense, Smitty. I think Women's History Month in general has been a little different for me this year, especially in the last week or so. I think over the years, I've kind of known my mentors. I've known the women I've looked up to. I've known the women that have poured into me. This week has been very humbling for me, because I didn't know there were so many women who felt that same way about me. And I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday last week, I was invited to be a panelist at the mighty FAMU University. And I got to speak about health disparity in minority communities, which is very important to me. Because as I've spoken before, for people who've been a part of Talk Tuesday, my mother recently passed from cancer. So it's very much a thing on my heart that I feel like I need to tell her story. So that was really my mission. But when the panel was dismissed, there were like 4 girls who wanted to talk to me afterwards. And I was like, I didn't even think what I said was that powerful. And then last night, I was invited to the Orlando Magic Women's Appreciation. Osceola Magic Women's Appreciation Night. And I was really going to support my great friend, Sindra. Sindra Donnie replaced me as the company commander for Central Florida Recruiting Company. And she's also a Black woman. So when she called me, I even went in my work clothes. I ain't work out, but I went in my work clothes to support her. And I know a lot of the people in the room were surprised about all the nice things she had to say about me, but it actually surprised me too. And I think sometimes as women, especially, I kind of credit myself as a high performer. That's kind of what your expectation of yourself is. So it's kind of easy to see the people that pour into you, but it's not always as recognizable to see the impact of what you pour into others.
Yes. Ooh. I'm a piggyback on that shortly because yes.
You can piggyback, sis. I don't have to go in next. Let's keep it legitimate and authentic.
Yeah. Last night, and I think what sis said is so important because sometimes us as women, we don't give ourselves enough credit. And we really sometimes don't feel like we are deserving of the honors that we are given. And that's, it is just us, right? Just in our head, in our space, like we just doing it to do it. And like, it's just what we supposed to do. So we don't see it no other way. And when people call it out, it is a very humbling experience because then it's like, oh, you see me. I'm just over here skating, trying to slide under the radar, but you see me. Last night I went to Congressman Soto's Women's History.
Sis, don't tell me we lost
event
you.
Where
okay.
Am I back?
Yeah, you back. You good. You good.
So last night we was at Congressman Soto's Women's History event. And it was so empowering because, he honored 11 women across. Did I go out again? Am I back?
Yeah, okay. You back now. You back.
And I just want to give a shout out to Mia with Poinsett Foundation because I went to support her. And it was just so amazing hearing the women's stories as they stood up there to receive their awards. And all of them pretty much mirrored each other with, I don't even feel like I should be standing up here. And like hearing these other women's stories is like, mine just seems so small compared to theirs. And I think I'm gone. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something real quick since I keep cutting off. But it makes me smile because again, I think of how often we don't think about when we show up for other women or when we show up just to support and say job well done, what that does for somebody. When we just say, this good job, because I saw what you was doing. Some of the ladies that showed up to support Mia are women that I've been in circles with as well. Shout out to Love because I saw her last night too. And Love just opened up a Circle K here in Central Florida. And if I'm not mistaken, she's the first Black-owned Circle K. Shout out, sis, we see you. It's things like that where we're like, people who feel like they don't belong, who do. And I just think having supportive circles and just people to say, I see you and continue to do you and know that we got you in the background. Like it's a whole other feeling.
I
Come on.
agree. Not to step in before Smitty, but I think what Smitty kind of hit on right before we actually started, when he was talking about the picture in the back, which I love because I'm a native of Montgomery, Alabama. But I think that's the mindset, the mentality of women. Like that's what you're supposed to do. A friend of mine, and we're the only two people like us that work in that particular complex. And we were kind of saying today, there's no one more disrespected than the Black woman. And I think like we sometimes pick up that same mentality, like that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a mother, supposed to be a boss, supposed to work all the time. So it's very humbling, I think, for us to receive those flowers, not because we don't deserve it, but I think it's just been so culturalized and embedded in us that you're supposed to outwork everybody else. So you don't really deserve the accolations in the end.
Yep. Yep. And see, I love that you brought that up too, because one of the conversations that I was having with a friend of mine was, when we go up and we accept our award and we make our speech, and a lot of times the first thing we say is we don't do it for the recognition. And while people do understand it, we do want to be recognized because we out here busting our butts, trying to make differences. We out here, breaking down walls and barriers, meeting demons like head on. You know what I mean? Like, while yes, it is what we do in our day to day. Yes, it is part of our job. Yes, it's what we signed up for. Yes, it's what we chose to accept and deal with. But she had a point. Yes, we should be okay with being recognized. Yes, we should not be embarrassed about the recognition. Yes, please recognize me for the things that I do and don't do it when I'm dead. So it is so true when you guys bring up these points that we should start being okay with being celebrated and being honored while we are alive to hear it, and learning how to accept it when it's being given to us. And I think that is the hardest part. And exactly what you said, Josh. You know, we've been our mentality is that we're just supposed to. Come on, Smith.
I got so much to say, but first I'm going to start. Y'all see, I switched my hat because this is my workout. This is my workout Nike dry fit, and since Sister's over there just showing out, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to be there in spirit. You know, this is coming from a Black man, and I think the picture says a lot. But to your question about mentors and that thought and that role, that motherhood role. And if we look at this picture and we go back to that, and I don't, I try to always be mindful that I just don't speak on the past. But I mean, if we just look at the generational levels of expectations. And if we're going to be specific about Black women, how Black women kept the white family together on that plantation, everything from cleaning the house to taking care of white kids, to taking care of the master, take care of her own husband and her own kids. And so when you have these trained conditions elapse over years, you become complacent to it. And so then that acknowledgement, like you've done something amazing, when literally all you have done is what you've known to do out of our own nature, then you start to question yourself, like, why are you celebrating me? So I can see that, right? And I want to acknowledge that. And then also, because of what you brought up today, sis, with this question about the mentorship going unseen as a mother, as a Black mother, never dawned on me till just now, like, I should have told my mother that I physically lost my mother in 1997, and I never was in the right frame of mind to see her hard work, her sacrifice, her dedication, her loyalty to me specifically, but to my family overall. And I should have said that more, like, Mom, man, appreciate you. Like, you don't even understand. You know what I'm saying? So now I do that with my most beautiful. I do that with my daughter, my sister, and so forth. And I think that first mentor is the mom when we talk about females, right? Or that auntie, right? We all have that auntie, because I got an auntie. That's my auntie, right? Like, I go talk to her about whatever. But again, Again, I just think it's we've been conditioned in the society that Black women live this dichotomy of you are so strong and powerful that you can take care of your own family and someone else's family, but shh, we ain't going to acknowledge that because you're supposed to be seen and not heard. It's a cold game. It's a cold game society put on y'all. So I just want to, that the mentor is the mom to me. And then the aunties and the sisters and so forth of the family, take place.
On Smith. Listen, I love that a lot of times, and I know you say you don't want to go back to the past, but sometimes we need the past to be reminded, right? Because it's how we got to where we are. And for us to understand and continue to break down the barriers and the walls, we have to go back to the past to see why we were there. Why was this a thing? Now, what steps do we need to take to change that dynamic for us to do better in the future and for our kids to do better and to know better and to see better? And so I love that you always bring back those components.
Well, check this out. To your point just now, I'm not being funny. I'm actually 1,000 right here. How visually powerful and impactful is it right now that a young Black woman sees Sis Jocelyn on this screen working out? She's putting her personal health first, but she's not discounting her commitment to her cause, right? Her purpose. Those are two different things. And I tell my most beautiful this all the time, like especially Black women. You want to save the world. You are so ingratiated and focused on the cause of saving the world that you sacrifice your personal health. I see it all the time. I see it with my wife. I see it with my family, But again, what you're doing here, not going backwards, but talking forward, the visual right now of that young Black woman working out, but working the cause at the same time sends the message to young Black women. Yes, I can do this. I can save the world and I can take care of myself at the same time. Jocelyn's value, right?
Jocelyn's values. We've had to make that a hashtag.
Absolutely. I'm with it.
Hashtag Jocelyn's values, y'all. Because listen, Smith, you are so right, though. You are so right. And that's why I am so in love with the fact that Sis is getting the whole workout in. Because I'm like, as soon as she turned the screen on, I'm like, wait a minute, Sis, you working out? Come on now. We better go live with a workout. Make me feel like we should be doing like a whole 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Let's go. And look, and if y'all with us, look, you can work out too while you listening.
Just think it's so powerful, because we don't see that, right? No. We don't see that. What do we get? And I don't want to take it off Black history or women's history or where we at in this topic of discussion. But we're so bombarded in today's society with the instant oatmeal solution to everything. For the great work and the wonderful work that Oprah Winfrey has done. This miracle pill of Weight Watchers, I'm glad she left them. I'm not knocking them if you're not. I'm just saying, there's not a magical pill to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, but there's no magical pill to fix you of your blemishes. It is a lifestyle. As you see on the screen right next to me, it is a lifestyle, and especially for Black women, trying to just live that intersectionality of mom, wife, career woman, entrepreneur, scientist, all of these amazing things, right? But where's the balance, right? And I think as mentors and leaders and role models, you two, and all the wonderful Black women out there, about my series that I did over the summer. You guys are here. You're amongst us, and it's so powerful that there are networks and there are platforms like you provide, Sis, to show that, to sensationalize that you can do these things. And there's sister ladies out there doing it just like you. Just got to go ahead and get it done.
Yes. Y'all keep coming through. Hold on. See, that was a collection plate moment. And see, I told my girl Samantha, because she not on tonight, that I got her covered. Because she like, make sure my collection plate make it on the screen. Boom. Sis, I got you. The collection plate has made it to the screen, because y'all better come through and drop it. Literally don't drop it, because you're on the elliptical, sis. But look, Smith don't drop the money in there. Okay, Money Bag Smith. I am here for it. The next question that I got for you guys, and so this is gonna tap into the personal. Okay. Can you share a story about a woman in your life that's made a significant difference or impact to you and to those around you? And how has their journey inspired you? I love Smith's face.
I'm gonna be honest, for me, it's been a long 38, almost 39 years. So there are a lot of women who have poured into me more than I could probably account for. But I think nowadays, especially losing my mother a year ago, it's my mom. Everybody's always been telling me how tough I was over the years. And like I said, anytime I can tell my mom a story, I'm gonna tell it. My mother was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 14. So she basically has been sick her whole life, 100% my whole life. Fought through it, battled through it. They told her when she had cervical cancer, with me, she would die or I would die, right? She got to see me be the big age of 38. So that is not, 37. And then I found out, because at the end I became my mother's caregiver, and I had to do the obituary. Found out my mother was living with a broken jaw for 5 years because she didn't want to risk having surgery and not be there for me and my sister. So I think I understood she was tough, but after she passed, I just didn't really factor in how tough she was and how that made me tough as a person. I always just equated it to the military because I've been through some things. But I don't think anyone that I have ever met is that tough to be walking around like that. I've seen soldiers get blown up in combat. I've seen people get shot. But I have never seen someone walk around in agonizing pain for 5 years because they love their children so much. So she is definitely someone I look to for memory-wise when I need to dig deep. I don't want anybody to think I'm crying. I'm coming up on 3 miles, so I'm getting a little winded. But yeah.
And even if you was, it's okay to shed them tears. We're gonna shed them with you, sis.
Well, my mama was one tough cookie. One thing she'll tell me is, don't be around here crying and live your life. So when I started to get sad, I hear my mama tell me to live my life. But yeah, I don't know a woman who has poured into me and invested in me as much as my mother, or that was as tough. So that's my girl, my favorite girl.
Come on now.
You know, I could easily go with that answer and say my mom, which she obviously was, but and I've said this before, I've said this on my podcast, I've said this everywhere I go. My most beautiful is the most phenomenal woman I have ever met in my entire life. And they say, like, sometimes, you gravitate towards, if you're a man, you kind of gravitate towards a woman that is kind of like your mom. And I mean, at first it was a running joke that she took chicken like my mom, and she still does. But now it's so much more than that. As I think about it, we're coming up on, actually, we're at a quarter of a century together. And for an individual to sit there day in and day out, 24/7 and deal with me, speaks volumes for her tenacity, her audacity to wait for me to grow up and try to blossom and evolve into the man that she probably pictured me to be when we first met. You know, I admire her, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I admire my wife and her hard work, her commitment to herself, just self-made. She was at tables before, she was at tables with cats with PhDs and doctorates way long before I was. She was a fighter in social justice and civil rights way before I was. Back in the beginning, she fought to get a city light put in because a kid got hit down the street, way before I was ever decided to get into, this arena. To watch her, work in this corporate world and go overlooked day in, day out, year after year for promotions that should have been done. She just got a promotion that she probably deserved 15 years ago. So this whole, intersectionality of trying to knock these windows down still exists. And to see her fight and again deal with me, raise our 3 children, and our grandson now. And I say this, and this is how powerful she is outside of me. This is how the world works. This is how the energy of organic love. And when the ancestors know you need something and you ain't ready to receive it, they put it in your palms. And I say this, regardless of me or whatever, my daughter needed my wife in her life to save her, to get her to today so she can become a mom that she's going to be soon. Everything ain't about what you see right here. It's about those things that go overlooked. And I see my wife and I praise her. I just praised her today. I'm like, babe, good job. Everything you're doing, I'm so proud of you. I mean, how isn't that corny that I gotta say that, but I love to say it? She probably gets tired of it, like, fool, go back to work or something. I've been out of work for 2 weeks now. So she's like, boy, go back to work. You shut up. But that's what it should be, and we need to acknowledge these things. Not only is she an incredible mom and wife and grandmother, but she's an amazing daughter. I watched her, have to lose her dad a couple months ago. And I see her as an auntie. She's an incredible auntie. Like that auntie, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that woman is amazing. Like, and this is one that I share to everybody. Like, if my most beautiful is your friend, she could care less about she literally cares about your soul. Like, she wants to make sure your soul is okay. She could care less about what you're doing, how much money you got, where you live, who your husband is, what kind of car you drive. If your soul is okay, then my wife is okay. And that should tell you what she's more than a person. I'm telling you, I can't put it in words, but she's more than a person. I'm gonna shut up because I'll keep going.
I love you. One thing that I'm gonna tap in on, Smith. Keep telling them. Keep telling her, brother. Because I can guarantee you she not tired of hearing it.
She not keep telling her. Look, keep telling her.
You just make her smile ear to ear, bro. Look, keep doing it.
I'm gonna keep telling her.
I love that, and I love that energy. And don't think that I didn't hear what I heard. Congratulations, because I heard you say about the baby finna have a baby. So listen, congratulations, young lady. If you watching us live, look, your other aunties are on here.
Now I'm gonna get in trouble because I ain't supposed to say nothing, and I totally let that one out the bag. So, Mama, if you watching, Dad, that was an accident. I didn't mean it. That was an accident, and we're gonna edit that part out. So we good.
That was not no accident. You gave us a whole story.
Look, that was Dad's excitement.
John, hey, sis, John, you're not helping. You is not helping me, man, at all. You might as well just back the bus up right on top of me right now.
Look, my man, I was like, did you just glaze over that?
It's always a blessing to celebrate life.
It is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It is.
We could not let you just gloss over that like we didn't hear what we heard. And I'm like, he just said, and he continued to like, okay, I see you, bro. That's okay. We're gonna come back.
I already know I'm getting a phone call. Let's move on to the next question.
Like, I'm about to get in trouble now. My bad. Listen, we love it though. We love it. And look, sis said it, it's a blessing. It is such a blessing. What lesson or wisdom have you learned from the women that surround you that you carry with you into your personal and professional life?
All right, I'll start off by saying Abby is the person that called you out, not me, Smitty. But to answer the question, I remember when I was a young E6, I may have been like 23, 24 years old, and I was mentored by a SAR major. So I'll just say that person like 3-4 grades above what my rank was at the time. And she was from Alabama. I really admired her. And she basically told me if I wanted to succeed in the military, you can't have a personal life. She said that you, as a Black woman, have to outwork everybody. You have to outperform everybody. They're never going to give you credit. And that's how I began to lead. Right. And I remember having like soldiers working on holidays. They were like, they got to bring their family. I'm like, good, more hands to help. Not even a sarcastic way. I thought I was doing them a favor. If it's 4 people moving, then we move a little faster. And as I began to have a family, I remember having a different set of opinion. When everyone was like, we got to go to the field or you got to deploy. And I'm like, I got a child. I can't leave my child for 9 months. I can't leave my child for 12 months. So I always look back on that advice she gave me, not in a negative way, but it kind of let me know to be careful with what you say to others, because those who are very much emulating you or looking to you for guidance are actually listening to what you have to say. And had I not gone a different course in life where something affected me, I may be giving that same, I won't call it toxic, but I won't call it helpful, advice to other people, because that goes for men and women. Right. If you get so caught up in work, and I mean, technically, I don't necessarily believe in work-life balance, because if you're a parent and a full-time boss, you're never going to have balance on either one. But I think there are times you have to choose your child first, and there are times where you also have to prioritize your career. But that's up to you as the individual person to make those decisions for your career, for your life, and for your family. But just early on, because I was so young, it stuck with me for like 10 years. And it just always made me be very cognizant of what I'm saying to others. And if I'm going by my personal opinion, or if I'm going by something I think that can actually help that person.
I love that. That just brings us so many other things, and I love that you how you put it, sis, that I ain't gonna say that it was negative, but it also wasn't great. It's like that in between. But I think a lot of times we have to experience the bad advice in order to understand how to lead better. And I try to tell students who come in all the time, you'll get good advice from people, you'll get bad advice from people. You're going to have good bosses and you're going to have bad bosses. It doesn't make the entire experience bad. Learn from them, because if your goal is to one day become the boss, you need to experience both sides so that you understand what you didn't like happening to you, so that you don't make that same mistake for people that are coming behind you. And so I too experienced I had a wonderful female boss when I first started early childhood education. She was one of the lead teachers in the classroom that I was in. And I remember walking in, it was like I was fresh in the field, excited. Y'all know you walk in thinking you finna change the whole world in a day. So and I just remember her always being that guide. And she's like, and she was way older. And she's like, just take it one day at a time. You ain't gonna solve all the problems today. Just one day at a time. And she continued to inspire and push me into becoming more. At the time, I was like, I'm just comfortable being a teacher. I just want to be in here teaching these kids. I just want to help the babies. And she's like, no, I need you to be the director. And I'm like, no, I'm just here to teach the babies. And she's like, no, you're going to be the director. So then in my mind, I'm like, but why aren't you the director? And her answer was, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm here for them, but I'm also here for people like you. And she's like, I see your potential and I see where you can go. I need you to become the director. It took some years, y'all. And so listen, I left that job. She pushed me, like she continued to push me. I got my degree. I moved up to a different job, started working somewhere else, ended up coming back to her in a whole other position somewhere else. She moved from a daycare center into a private school. I applied to the private school, not even knowing she was there. We ended up working together again. And she was back at it. I need you to be the director. And I'm like, I'm working my way down, like I'm getting there. She's like, not fast enough. I need you to become the director. But sometimes you need that person to be that push. Sometimes you need that boss. And what I took from her is sometimes we go into spaces and we meet people that are in a higher position than us, and sometimes they will not push you. And they will not push you because they don't want you to outrank them. And so it sometimes becomes the problem. For years, that was the only boss that I had that pushed me to excel and surpass her. It took years before I found another boss that pushed in that manner. And so thinking about women like her who are just selflessly saying, go and think beyond the scope, go and do more than what I'm doing. Let me show you the way. I'll tell you where to go get these classes. I'll tell you what you need to do. I will give you the roadmap. Just do it. And always kept in contact, made sure I showed up. So Lorraine, if you're watching, I'm honoring you for Women's History Month for being that person that continued to push the young teachers who came into your room, pushing the young teachers who always came in contact with you to go out, be more, and be better. And I always carry that lesson with me. And I always strive to do that for people that I work with. I want them to outrank me. I want them to go out, be better than me. Don't look at what I'm doing and think it's the end all be all, because there's other ways. And I need you to go discover those other ways and make it better for more people. So keep doing that. So I'm thankful for that type of female influence in a professional sense, that she was that pillar for me in a workspace that actually carried, like I literally carried the lessons that I learned from her, and it applies to the nonprofit. And so I'm super thankful for her, because had I not met her, I probably would have had a boss that sucked. You know, then I wouldn't be here saying these things. But you know, I'm grateful for that, because you don't find it often, but when you do, it's a whole vibe.
You know, that both of you sharing that, I can honestly say, in my career working since I was 16 years old, I'd never had a woman be my direct boss. That's a shame, you know, be it black, white, or anything else. So I will say this before I say, you know, this most influential woman. I will say this because I say it to all young people. All bosses ain't leaders, and all leaders ain't bosses.
Come on,
you know
now.
What I'm saying? You better listen and pay attention to who's telling you what. You know what I'm saying? That's a thing. All right. My most influential would it be my sister. She's kind of like my second mom. You know, she's 13 years older than me. So she was always bossy. But the one thing, not one thing, but the thing that she kind of said to me, I was just like rambunctious little boy, just bad. And I don't want to say bad. I was just curious. There we go, curious. Um, and you know, I had did something in school or something. At this particular time, my sister was not living in the house with me. She was back east. So I knew when I got home, my mom was already gonna call my pops. That was just like, you know, protocol. I did not think she was gonna call my sister. And I remember I got on the phone, you know, a little guy, I don't know, second. I was second. If I told y'all what I said, you'd probably disown me right now. But regardless of that, she get on the phone and she said, Smith, she said, you better than that. She said, you better than that. She said, you know, that ain't, you know, I don't even know where you got that from. And I expect more from you. And she finished that phone call and told me, don't be no punk. That's what she said. She said, don't be no punk. Now, mind you, I ain't even told you what I said. But she said, don't be no punk. And then, you know, she come back here, time move on. And she taught me, you know, don't be no fool. You know, don't be no fool. You know, there's a lot of fools in our environment, in our city, in our neighborhood. And I used to look up to them fools. You know, they had this, she said, don't be no fool. And as I got older, you know, I kind of like embraced both of those. Don't be no punk and don't be no fool. You know, and I don't want to say punk in like this term of masculinity, but just don't let people run over you and take advantage of you, and then you become foolish to their ideology, you know. Mm-hmm. And she always was there to correct me when I did something wrong. My mother worked a lot, so that was the first person I seen when I walked through the house was my older sister. And then like she would just give me the shirt off her back. I mean, I didn't have to ask, I didn't have to beg. She just give. She'd give to her. You know, I crashed her car, you know, and you know, just being that curious young teenager. I crashed her car. She didn't hold me, you know, she didn't, you know, and you know, just building that relationship with her through these years. Today, you know, me and her talk every day. It's my older sister. But like she laid that blueprint for me to become the man that I needed to be. Like, you know, be strong and be standing on this. You got to stand, like the young folks say, standing on business. You know, she was basically telling me that, you know, back in 1984, 1985, you know, stand on your business, you know, don't be no fool, you know. So sis, appreciate you. You know, I love you, big sis.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. And again, I think this is like, for it to be the last Tuesday of the month, just a phenomenal way for us to pay homage to those ladies that are still listening, and for them to know what they mean to us and how they have been that support for us, and even our ones that are not still here. And so I'll take a moment just to say before we close out, I want to give a shout out to a lot of the ladies who helped raise me, which is why I'm able to do what I do, where I am, you know, how I got here. If you was born and raised in Morehaven and Clewiston, y'all kind of know the term. If your mama worked at the nursing home, you consider the nursing home baby. And so I am a nursing home baby. So I got to shout out my nursing home mama. So all them nurses that sat on the floor to take care of people's loved ones, I am grateful for you. So Auntie Sylvia, I thank you for showing up and showing out for your girl as a young lady. She used to get me out of town. and if any of you know anything about that small town, there's literally nowhere to go. And so she would pick me up, take me places, and just get me out and about. I am grateful for you. Auntie Cora, if you are watching, I am grateful for you for advice that you've given and ways that you've shown up for me. Auntie Cindy, if you are watching, I am grateful for you, and Auntie Joyce. And then for those ladies who lived in the town that literally, when mama was working, they was the mamas, they was the aunties on duty. Okay. So Auntie Pat, hands down, this is one that saved my life. And so I am grateful for her. She is that open door for every child that has been in that town. She was that auntie, that mama figure. Never complained, never turned the kid away. Like literally to the point people would drop their kids off at her doorstep. And so I am grateful for her being that person, because she definitely had a hand in where I am and what I do. And so Auntie Pat, I thank you because your sacrifices do not go unnoticed. God, Mama Wileen, you know, same for you. Another one, open door. People drop their kids off at her house, you know, and I'm grateful because you ladies provided safe housing for children. And you did it out of the kindness of your heart, just because. And so I'm grateful because I had them to watch. I'm grateful because they allowed me to feel safe. I'm grateful that my mom trusted them to be a part of my life. And, you know, Mama, I love you. And I know I say it a lot. And I know that like, I'm always in your ear, girl. And I'll even sing you a song later, girl. Look, but I love you and I thank you for always having my back and for being my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, my biggest pusher, like the whole nine, because I couldn't do what I do without you. And I'm so grateful. So in honor of Women's History Month, we celebrate all the phenomenal women out here that are just doing, listen, they doing the damn thing. And so I thank y'all and we salute y'all and we are just so happy to know you and be in your presence. And so thank you guys for coming on and sharing your stories too.
Sis, I gotta say this before we go. Because I thanked everyone, you know, I'm sis, my wife, the whole night. I gotta say this because it really means a lot. She probably don't know this because I never said it, but Dr. J, I know you watching, we miss you.
Yes.
But I want to make sure people know this. You taught me that you don't have to be an educator to be an educator. That means a lot to me because I never saw myself as an educator until you said that. I always discounted, and you say you stopped me. The no, Smith, that's not you know, you ain't got to be this, and you know what I'm saying? So I just want to make sure, you know, I point, Dr. J, you know, we love you. I miss you. Get back on here soon. Last thing.
I love it.
I want to thank the candy lady in my neighborhood. She saved me so many times from going to the store and committing a crime because they Twix at the store and they Starbursts were highly, highly expensive and overtaxed. When the candy lady around the corner and I had to walk through her yard with her dog barking at me, I could get whatever I wanted, including ice cream with no tax. I walk out of there with $2 in my pocket and man come home and me and the whole homies, we got ice cream, Snicker bars, the whole nine. So, cause y'all go underrepresented, Candy Lady. And I know y'all still doing the work out there wherever you are. If you're in my neighborhood, tap in with me because I want to support you. That's the listen.
Oh my God. Listen, you ain't never lied about the neighborhood candy ladies. Listen.
The first entrepreneur you ever met was the candy lady. Man, get your facts right and give homage to those ladies. They was hustling. They was bulk shopping before Costco was even invented. You know what I'm saying? And they bring it to the neighborhood and took care of us. Now, it wasn't the most healthiest and nutritious, but it was the heart. It was they meant well. So shout out candy ladies, man. Love y'all. I was driving from Alabama back home to California after my son graduated to Tuskegee. Listen, you probably know about this place. I was driving through Selma, and it was one main street, and it's a big old house that's a candy lady's house. I forget if it's white or if it's pink, but sis, correct me if I'm wrong if it's still there, because I seen that in like 2022. Shout out candy ladies. Appreciate y'all.
I'm vegan.
Oh, she said I'm vegan. Like, she ain't checking for the candy lady.
I missed that house.
I'm gonna need to ask somebody if the candy lady's still around. I'll make a call for you, Smith. Look, Smith trying to find the candy lady.
Look here, man.
I'm all about holistic healing, holistic wellness.
I'm with it. You know how much money they put in the hood?
Oh, I'm from the hood. I'm saying what I'm about now.
Oh no, I know. Now you're gonna be the holistic lady. You're gonna be selling rice cakes and you know what I'm saying,
have mercy.
and things of that nature.
Sis, please don't sell us the rice cakes.
Ain't
Let me
nobody gonna buy it.
Rice
Ain't
cakes and
nobody
peanut
gonna
butter,
buy it.
man.
That's a waste of my time.
Some black bean salad. Come on, man,
Okay,
talk to me.
I'll take the black bean salad, but sis,
Hey,
please
it's
don't give
delicious.
us the rice cake.
Ain't nobody gonna buy that.
Rice cakes with some honey. Don't
Oh,
sleep on it.
Lord.
Don't sleep on it.
I love
I'm telling y'all.
Well,
All
real
right,
quick, I
guys.
know we're about to get off the call.
Yes,
I was
yes.
walking to my car and I had to help this young man and his dad because that's just who I am. They was lost. I was leaving the complex. I can't go through the month of Women's History Month without thanking my very best friend, Sarah Vaughn Surier, aka B. We've been best friends since we were 5, and she has always believed in me, always poured into me. I'm talking about when I was in Afghanistan for 15 months. I'm talking about flying to Alabama and spending a week with me when my mama passed. I'm talking about when I went through a divorce and she came, dropped whatever she did, and stayed in the house with me, helped me get my life back together. And I think so many times you're used to friends being there with you when you're at your highest. What I appreciate with her the most, she's been there with me at the lowest points in my life. And I told her when I get on, she gonna be the first person that's gonna receive something from me. And that's only because my mama passed. Don't tell her I said that last.
Look, sis, tell her not to watch the live. Tell her not to watch the live.
Nah. Hey, Abigail, you better throw her under the bus like you did me. Come on now, let's keep it fair and square up on here.
That's
I'm
petty.
about to share this video everywhere.
Oh, Sis Johnson don't know I'm the king of petty. I'm the king of petty.
Everybody getting in trouble on this live.
Everybody. I'm Nino Brown. If I go down, everybody going down.
All the secrets coming out today. But I just, you guys, this is just such a breath of fresh air. Just the whole vibe, the energy, everything that we embody and how we have these conversations. And again, I know I say it often, but I am truly thankful for you guys being a part of this journey, being a part of this this live, and always coming through with genuine conversation for people to learn from. So that being said, I mean, people that are watching, you know, if there is a woman that you would like to recognize, you know, drop their name in the chat and then tell them why you recognizing them. Let them know what they mean to you. Let them know the lessons that you learned from them, because sometimes we feel like we show it, but it means so much more when they hear it. So just say it so that they know how you feel and they know why you feel the way that you do. So, you know, that being said, y'all, look, we are so excited to end this month, you know, being able to pay homage to all these amazing women in our lives that have touched us, that are still touching us, that are doing the work. We are so grateful. So grateful. And so that being said, next month, y'all, our next month's topic, we are talking about child abuse next month. So you know, it's so many things that's around that. So it's Child Abuse Awareness Month, so we're gonna tap into that conversation, especially things that we learned along the way growing up. Such a So yes, thank you guys, and we wish everybody a phenomenal night. Continue to uplift and empower the women around you guys. Look, good night, y'all. Oh, hold on. I guess I should look. Let me throw that music on.
All right, Abby. Talk to you later.